thing that I like about the camera also when I work with people, people get discouraged so quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
they right away, they want to say, my cat was killed by a coyote or something like that. He's dead. I'll never see him again. But if they see him on camera, then they know, okay, he's alive and he's really there and I've got to get him back. So that's
Yeah.
part of the value of the camera, is just keeping the owner encouraged and engaged.
Right. It's giving them hope. I always talk about hope, and
Mhm.
these stories, like you said, the ones that are reunited, especially the ones that were gone a long time, it does give people a lot of hope, and it does encourage them
Mhm.
to not give up. So
Yes.
I like the idea of, we haven't stressed this security camera thing, but it's a really good idea because I see people saying over and over again, or I hear people saying that they've seen their cat or a neighbor's seen their cat and they just can't get it.
Mhm.
But it must be, as you said, this habit of being in the same place or around the same time.
Mhm.
So is there anything else they could do, before we wrap up today, that you could give some helpful tips for people that may be seeing them on their cameras if they're using cameras, and or getting sightings from a nearby neighbor that would help them, besides they say, what could I do? What else could I put out? A scent item, I don't know. What would you suggest?
Well, it kind of depends on the situation, and some people will recommend putting out food and some will not. So, if you put out food outside, you may attract your own cat, but you may also attract every other cat in the neighborhood, raccoons, possums, whatever critters you have in the area. So that may actually work against you. So if your cat is the only one around and you're putting a dish of food on your front porch where other creatures aren't likely to come around, maybe that will help. But again, it could also attract unwanted animals, which could scare your cat away. A scent item, not a dirty litter box. We've talked about that, but something that's familiar to them, like a bed that they like to sleep in, a kitty bed, or something with maybe your T-shirt on it that you have worn, something like that that they may want to come and sit on, that's familiar to them, that would be attractive. That may serve as an attractant if they are in the area. If they're
Hmm.
not stuck somewhere or at somebody else's house. But this is we're going on that they're outside, they're free to roam around, and we just can't figure out exactly where they are or at what time.
Yeah. Cats I found are very interesting in the lost pet world, as far as, it's funny, they either come back right away or they're gone for a long time, and they'll come back like severely emaciated or
Mhm.
something, and so you have to wonder, like, where have they been, what's been going on. A lot of times when that happens, I think maybe they were locked inside someone's shed or garage
Mhm.
or something, because it's odd. Do you have any insight maybe as to why some are gone for months on a time? Do you think they just forget their way home? Because I do sometimes feel that they get outside a certain area and they just can't figure it out. I don't know.
Well, there are many different scenarios, and as you mentioned, many cats will get stuck. I mean, curiosity killed the cat. It's unfortunately true. They will go under and into things and into sheds, into cars, into furniture, and get stuck so they can't come out. Maybe they went into a shed or outbuilding, and then the person who lives there closes and locks the door until next weekend when they open it up again. So it is really amazing how long they can survive without food or even water. This is when you see them coming out so sick and emaciated. And the problem is that they don't usually vocalize. You would think, like if a dog were locked in a garage, they'd be barking the whole time. You would
Yeah.
know where they are. But cats, when they're afraid, they just hunker down and they keep quiet. So another scenario when a cat just plain disappears is that they could be at someone's house. People may assume that the animal is abandoned and take it into their house and not check for a chip, if there might be a chip. And so this is why it's so important to get the word out to the neighbors and also to search literally every nook and cranny, because I've talked to countless people who have been looking, but the cat was close by. They just didn't see them. They were under
Mm-hmm.
the house. They went through those little vents under the house. And another thing I want to mention, this is a very unfortunate situation I just found out about through one of my missing pet calls, was a lady was missing her cat, and this was in Pennsylvania, so I'm not familiar with the shelters and the laws there. Her cat was a year and a half old, friendly pet cat, got out, got picked up by animal control, bit someone, and was euthanized before she even had time to go down to the shelter
Oh.
and find out that this happened. So she was looking, she was talking to neighbors, and this had all happened. And she found out after it was too late. So she told me she wanted, if I could tell people anything, it would be to, even though most cats are found near home, that people need to check the shelter right away the first day before something like this happens. Because you don't know, fortunately, many shelters are moving in the right direction now, and they're no longer engaging in these kinds of practices. But this is still going on in some parts of the country where animal control is picking up cats. And of course, they're stressed out in the shelter. So they bite someone who handles them badly, and then they're euthanized because they're considered to be a hazard. So very important for people to also identify their animal control shelter and check it right away, even if it's not likely that they're there. You still want to cover that base.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, here, one of our counties, it's only a 3-day stray hold, but I know it's different everywhere. I think our other county is 5 days for kitties, so it is extremely important. And especially, I mean, we have, I think for the year left over last year, there were almost 80 tabby tiger type cats still missing.
Wow.
And you don't know, here there's a lot of predators, there's big birds, there's, tons of traffic with snowbirds and visitors, etc. So you don't know out of those lost where they may be, if they're still alive even. But if they've gone to a shelter, they do need to check right away, especially, and you can't rely on the pictures. People try to say, oh, that's not my cat. But, I've had cases last year, I think it happened twice, that somebody went and picked up a tabby and it wasn't even theirs when they got home. That's how hard it is. And it happened twice. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But and so, chipping, you got to chip, you got to do something so that you keep your pets safe, for goodness sakes, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Bridget, before we run out of time, I'd like you to be able to let people know how to look up your Mission Reunite information, as well as your First Street Pets information.
Great. So you can find my work on missionreunite.org. We have a lot of free information, written articles, videos on various resources for finding lost pets. There's also a couple of books that are available. We didn't write them, but we have links to buy them on Amazon Kindle, so you can get them right away for finding a lost dog or cat. You can also find me at firststreetpets.com, and I do have a full-length article and video with links on the security cameras if you want to look at the different ones that I recommend and other resources in that area.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at that, because we get questioned every day about what else can I do to help find my cat. So this is a great topic to discuss right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm really happy that you were with me, and even though I lost and I couldn't hear you for a couple minutes, I don't know what happened on my end, but I lost you at the very beginning, so I apologize for that. But it sounds like everything went good, so I'm glad to hear that. So we'll have to have you back again to follow up maybe on the trapping of cats, because that's a topic that goes hand in hand with this, and something that a lot of people ask about. And I've never personally trapped one myself, so that is a good topic to discuss and share with people that need that kind of information. So I'll look forward, hopefully, to be able to do that with you too. Okay.
All right.
So thanks again for being with me today. I really appreciate it. I always learn something when I have you on, and I hope our listeners will. And they can always go back online and listen to your other podcasts as well at Let's Talk Pets. So thanks, Bridget. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so remember everybody that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives, so please be sure they are microchipped and wearing their ID tags. And if they are chipped, be sure that chip is registered and up to date. Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.